Well, wherever you are, just relax, enjoy yourself, and maybe occasionally prepare to be stimulated or disturbed or caught off guard or thrown into deep thought, whatever it is. To the point, this talk is going to be about money and jobs and life. So I call it Meditations on Home Care because that's the root meaning of the word economics. And we all deal with economics because we all deal with homes and we all have cares. So meditations, just like thinking out loud. I like to stream on my channel and like my processing out loud. I trust that it helps y'all be okay with processing out loud for yourselves or taking what's useful and valuable to y'all and, using it however y'all want to go forward to overall fulfill the goal of becoming who you were made to be in the creator. So with that said, I'll begin this meditation. So if you make a story, you control the players, you could say the characters in that story. If you know the story, then you shape the gaming, how the players play. On and on it goes. You can even alter the gameplay. We can add new games, new stories, new styles, new types of players. On and on it goes. Overall, if you guide the story game, then you shape the players. The walkthrough becomes the tile. The walkthrough is the way to live. The walkthrough of the game becomes the scripture of the cultural god. So those of you who play video games, you understand exactly what I mean. For those of you who don't, just think of it as in terms of games and stories. When you have a game, how you play the game is the way to live. So in this world, people talk about you gotta play the game, whether it's seduction, whether it's making money, whatever it is. Basically, they're telling you this is how you live. So the question becomes, what's the goal? What are the controls? How do you plug in, if you will? How do you play? The thing is levers of gameplay. Not why, not how, but actually, the actual playing you do. Track this. We play for a gift. That's the goal. So, with respect to the levers of the gameplay, with respect to the control, how you plug in, whether you're aware of why you play or how you play, this is what you actually do. You play for a gift. You play for a reward. You play to get. In this world, there is a shared and good way of talking and storytelling. I'm doing that right now. If you take what I'm telling you and you show it to other people and you talk to them about it, voila, y'all sharing a way to talk and tell the story. Thing is, there are lots of stories in this world, and there are owners of these stories, from you to groups, wherever they are, whatever controls they have for the game or not, whatever ways in which they know how to write stories or challenge stories, whatever stories they're aware of or not aware of. The problem is there is no goal keeping when it comes to the story of the game of life. No one's asking what's the goal. You just score displays on the runway. You're just showing off your scores. Like, oh, look what I got. And it's like you're like it's like a fashion walk. Like you're just walking, showing off the score. From status to clothes to even the way you talk, prestige, degrees, on it goes. That's what it becomes about. It becomes the fashion show of life. That becomes a game that everyone plays and wants to play it well. But they don't pay attention to the costs. So I ask, who wants to show off what they can't buy? Hmm? That's a weird question, huh? Do you ever want to show off something you can't buy? You might be like, how would I? I might have to steal it. If I can't buy a Ferrari, I can't show it off. I may have to steal it. But thing is, if you steal it and people know you stole it, are you gonna show it off? Nah, that's illegal. And also you just look broke. So who wants to show off what they can't buy? What can't you buy at all with money? Your debt and the goal of your life. If you had enough wealth, some of you say, you could force that wealth to be shared equally to all and kept that way? How? Be honest. Look, your current wealth is always being distributed. And when not distributed, then it's stored in safety, in displays, tagged as numbers, and stored as numbers, in courses, in inspiration even, intimidation even being able to say protest, you got to buy the materials. That's your wealth being distributed towards the materials you're using for protest. You don't go around evenly distributing your wealth to those who are quote unquote lesser than you. You don't start out easy. You don't model what it is you're trying to do overall. What you want globally, you don't even do locally when you have the means. So privileged to be able to critique those who are more privileged than you, not doing what you yourself don't do. So what are you left with? Intimidation. That's the best way to level the game. That is, destroy everyone in the end. Because that's what it goes to. You intimidate, other people intimidate you, then guess what? You have a gang war. My gang against you. And whether I shoot you directly, eventually someone's going to. And you're gonna be like, how? Who makes the laws, the policy? Behind every law is somebody pointing a gun at your head. If you break that law, that's just how it is. If you refuse to comply, because the law is supposed to free you to live, free you to play. That's why laws are very important. Laws are applied wisdom, applied love of wisdom, familial wisdom, love of philosophy, philosophia, philia, philia, Philip, Felipe. Anyway, so more often than not, in this intimidation game, it's get ahead. Whether you make a corporate corpse, a zombie that drains brains out of people's heads, that is setting up a school prison, a school system, a structure that shapes people to come and become a part of this ecosystem, this particular home that's carelessly being exploited. So corporate zombies can eat people's brains, eat their education, and use them as batteries to do what exactly? And if you keep asking this, eventually it's off with your head for circuses and bread. It's like, ah, nah, we got to find a way to, if not declare you crazy, actually make you crazy. We can make you crazy either categorically or by putting you through some weird things. In the categorically crazy can also be narration. What kind of stories we tell about you? What do we say you are? Your character. How about we expose your score sheet? How about we get across things you've done wrong. Because we all love knowing what's wrong, even if we don't care for what's right. We all love knowing what's wrong, just to be able to say that's wrong and this is right, because that feels so strong. So just owning up to our own wrongs first and foremost, asking for justice against ourselves. That's the kind of person you want to listen to. Just being real. If you stand in front of a judge, if the judge is like, look, me judging you, I need justice against me for all that I've done wrong. Once that happens, now let's go forward. Is that gonna happen? They can. Because sometimes you can stand in front of a judge and be like, hey, you're not just as a person. So it's just a matter of your judgment is just. That is, you're not right wise. You're not justified. You're not good. But you know what's right. You know what's good. So your judgment I accept, but you I reject. So however it is you are towards me, if you are in my position and you committed my crime and I was judging you, it is what it is, right? Or do you want mercy? Do you want grace? That is charity. I give you what you don't earn. I want reform, transformation, and integration. Putting you back in the home, not making you homeless, not throwing you in a box, in a cage. And you come out, and then the cage feels more home than where you are. Because wherever you go, people will treat you like you trash. You're a zombie now. Walking dead. So, who wants to show off what they can't buy when you're like this person? When you're an unjust judge? When you're a listener? When you're a speaker? Who wants to show off what they can't buy? Their death and the goal of their life. Remember, the levers of gameplay. The control is not why, not how, but actually, the actual playing you do. Track this. We play for a gift. We want charity. We want grace. We want mercy. Because in this game that we play, in these lives we live, these characters we are in the story, we do wrong on purpose. Not just by accident, but on purpose. So more often than not, the gift we want is to not have our gifts taken from us and to be able to get more gifts still. And what's a greater gift than life? Mhm. So talking about life insurance, what about death insurance, what you can call soul security? Your soul secure, you get more life. You don't have to worry about your life being a loan that you lose and that you have a bunch of debts that you got to pay. You instantly get redeemed. You get bailed out. Your life is paid for, priceless. You get more, abundantly more. You get true wealth, true health, true home, true care, true recognition, All is real and real recognizes real. Right now, wealth gets distributed. That's everybody's goal. Wealth to themselves, to others, or their own people. There's already wealth distribution, even to those who have more wealth than we do. Reluctantly, by force, or without tracking the files. Way money moves, comes and goes, pulses, the rhythmic flows. The heartbeat of money is to give beat to a type of music lifestyle. Money is the beat to your music. The beat goes on and on, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. Wasteful or Great Depression. Sometimes the music is like, yo, this is a very slow song. This song is very dry. This song feels very empty. Yo, this song is excessive. It's way too much. I can't even enjoy it right. Yo, this song, I want to share this song with other people. That's what money be doing with us. Eventually becomes this thing of everyone's forced on the dance floor, and it's like, stop. We all in the same cultural wars with no choreographer. Just hype, breakdowns, and dance battles. And dance circles around this person, that person, who's gonna die. Wealth battles, money war, gang wars. The streets ain't out there. The streets are in here. Some are forced to lose, like bankruptcy, when it comes to these wars. When it comes to these games, these stories. Some can't help but win. Like inheritance. Like your future kids, if you had the wealth, right? So other people can hate them. Silver spoon. Silver spoon, ba-boom, ba-boom. Ba-boom, ba-boom, boom. These spoiled brats getting money from their kids that should belong to mine. Hey, hypocrisy? Stupidity? Human beings are brilliant. Brilliant. Brilliant at hate. Brilliant at envy. We all on the dance floor. These cultural wars, these dance floors. Everyone's got to dance. Because money you know won't level. When you receive money, you don't want it leveled. You won't keep it leveled either. When was the last time you wanted something? Never? Okay, let's say that's the case. What about needed something? Let me guess, you decided to do without and gift your money to someone else who didn't need it, right? I needed this, and I decided to give my money to someone who does not need it. The thing is, you give your money to those who want it. What? How? People who don't care about you, who sell you, frankly, stuff you don't need. Think about stuff that you buy that you don't need, that's actually made to break fast. You can trash it. Stuff that costs you more than it really should. That if you start tracking, like, dang, I spent that amount of money on this over the month, over a year. Did I actually need that? And then even there, it's like that I actually really want this. Why did I buy this? I feel like I had to. I felt like I was kind of seduced or like tricked, manipulated. confused. And it was framed as if it was doing me a favor. When it was just like, but who am I? What do I really need? What do I really want? If I could get what I want without money, I would, wouldn't I? Or would I say, no, I just want the money. I don't want what I actually want. Remember, levers of gameplay. Not why, not how, but actually, the actual playing you do. Track this. Replay for a gift. When was the last time you paid or gifted something to a rando for free? Usually you gift by spending money. You spend money on you and those you know. Not a stranger like me. And in many ways, I'm the same way at random, but not necessarily with money though. More so with my time. Time ain't money for me. Time is me being able to do what I'm trying to do. And if I could do that without money, I definitely would. Money actually gets in my way. And people get in my way because money becomes their way. When my way is Yahweh. The heart ain't charitable. We give to get. If it happens and can't be tracked by us, we won't call it a charity. Think about it. When was the last time you heard of a very well-functioning charity, not a well-meaning charity, a very well-functioning charity that was not famous, that's not publicly known? It's kind of like if a good charity is like a good lung, a good heart, a good brain. You don't have to ask questions about it, it just does what it does. It's a good organ. Every now and then you got to get some checkups too, you know. Be like, how you working? How you feeling? How do I take care of you? So yeah, charity. How's that for clarity? How does distribution, better word, gifting, affect those you ask money from? Huh? How do you ask money? Who do I ask money from? How do I ask money? By working. How does your work affect those you gift money to? Huh? The people you buy stuff from. If you give money to someone, how does the money you give them affect them and eventually affect you? Think about it. If you give somebody in your family money, how does it affect them? Do they use it on drugs? Do they pay their bills? Do they give to charity? Do they multiply it and take you out to eat? See what I mean? Ask your family. Ask the zombies to tell you their ultimate goal and see if it really has to do with you. See if their ultimate goal even helps them. Because if they say their ultimate goal is money, well, we can just empty our pockets, empty our bank accounts. Hell, we can just empty our debts. All not goes, just give everything, lay it at our doorstep, and just leave with everyone else and just go live your life how you want to without that money. If you could do it, you do it, right? Or they're like, okay, no, you're in debt, so you're our slaves. Like, okay, fine, we'll be your slaves. Here's my debt. Buy my debt. Take it. Now, since we're your slaves, you're responsible for us. What do you want us to do? And guess what? If we fail, the blame comes on you. You have to feed us. You got to clothe us. You got to give us skills. You got to take care of our environments. On and on it goes. If we're your slaves, you got to treat us well. And then you got to make sure we don't find a way to get rid of you for being a bad master. Because as our slaves, we care more about your honor, your legacy, more than we care about you misaligning with that. If you stop being honorable as a master, we get rid of you. Sounds really weird, right? It's kind of trippy. It's like, look, you're a bad master. You're a bad master. You're supposed to be a good master. You said you're supposed to be a good master. So because you're not being a good master, we got to get rid of you so somebody else can be a good master. Yo, isn't that how this country started, though? In a weird way, it's similar. This is getting weird. It's an interesting story. But hey, the story makes the game. Remember that. My question becomes, what's the true story? Who's the first and last storyteller, first and last historian? Because they know the game. Even better, who's the game maker? Because they can help me play. They can help me win. They know the walkthrough. They know the way. Because they are the way. And when it comes to the game, as y'all can tell, money is code. Code is design language. Money was designed by us designers. Money is code. Code is design language. Money is used to write poems of the nefesh. A poem is just a craft. It's a work. Poesis in Greek means making, crafting. You can have this from engineering to literature, writing. We could call it force pragmatics or martial and arts. Martial arts. So that's what sets up what makes a civilization. That's a good way to organize it. That's how I organize this information in my head. Where everything is the martial art. You have both. The martial, that's the force pragmatics. How do we use our body to make things happen? And then the art part is how do we bring joy? There's a feature of cultivation, illustration, there's beauty, ornamentation, on it goes. We can even put in terms like masculine and feminine. Masculine is martial, art is feminine. A different way is like try to code this, put a mark on it so people can pass it to each other back and forth to know we're all talking about the same thing. Basically, language and culture. You have a format. So yeah, going back, money is code. Code is design language. Money is used to write poems with the nefesh. Nefesh, that's the Hebrew word for soul. All that makes the mind and body glow. Just let your soul glow. I mean, this video ain't for everyone, but hey, if you come into America, now you know. So we make poems. We make poems, write the poems of our souls. We publish the poems of our souls, of who we are, about the craft and the crafting. Both of these inspire either imitation, inspiration, or envy and intimidation. Yo, that's so cool. I want to do that too. Just like you. Then imitate and like, look, I'm an imitator. All right. Yo, that's so cool. I'm gonna take some of what you did and do my own thing. Inspiration. Yo, That's cool. Why can't I be cool? Who the hell you think you is? I should be you. Envy. I'ma kill you if I can't be you. Bitter Cain ain't sugar cane, 'cause he ain't able to have the fruits of the spirit, the fruits of love. Brother killing his own brother. When, as we all know, if y'all were paying attention, I shared a brief image of a Black Panther versus the Dark Knight. Black on black shine. That's what it's about. Black on black shine. Imagine that. Imagine that. We all T'Challas, we all Bruce Waynes. Talking to men right now, obviously, but obviously we know women are queens. They understand home care, economics. We write the poems for our souls. We publish about the craft and the crafting, and of course the interacting. So we meet people we inspire, meet people we imitate, or who imitate us, or who inspire us. We meet people we envy, or who envy us. We interact. Lives have crafts we make. Crafting is the how. Interaction is the act to relate. How do we get along? The word along meaning going along, going together, walking the path, walking the way. How do we do the walkthrough for this gameplay? How we do the story for the characters we is. Thing is, it's right wise love versus corrupt, foolish fakery. So why do we do what we do? Is it to benefit society as a whole? People say that, right? What whole? I'm not saying what whole. They're saying Christmas. If I add two more ho. But on that clause, warning about these saints, these Santas, who understand we benefit those we know as either a person or a group, even if they're a label or a building. I'm trying to give you something about the logos, not merely logos. And the money and good goes where it goes, for growth or towards decay. Here's a quick short film story. And some of y'all have probably seen The Wire. I've not seen that show. I really want to watch it. Even Breaking Bad. We like these kind of movies that frankly just lay out a lot of life for you in layers. If you just track, you could just use the money to just literally just organize different types of people. Who cares, who doesn't care, who needs, doesn't need, who wants, doesn't want, and why. Can tell a lot about who's worshiping money and who's not. Who has faith in money and who don't. Who needs money and who just simply uses money instead of letting money use them. So yeah, here's a quick short film story. You pay an employee who becomes a drug dealer to pay for the speeding ticket they got from a crooked cop while trying to take their grandmother who had a heart attack from getting scammed by a pyramid scheme that's using your company's strategy. Funny story, huh? That sounds really weird. That's like, yo, that's very intricate. But lives interweave. These things happen every day. In fact, I had this experience where I was trying to get Medicare, right? Looked on Google and there's like so many different sites for Medicare, so many different scams. And I was just like, yo, never like done this like that before. Because last time I got like insurance for real was like a few years ago. And my mom got it for me after, I was hospitalized. And then it was supposed to have been canceled after like a year or two, but because COVID happened, I kept it way longer. Anyway, I called one of these numbers. I was like, okay, one of these has to be legit. I don't know, whatever. I didn't even think to use like the AI to be like, what's the legit place, whatever. And even the number my mom gave me, just whatever. But anyway, so I called and I was just like, yo, the people I'm talking to, this is a scam, but they're using the same model, the same strategies as the people who are legit. So I'm just like, how do I know what's a legit business that actually cares for me, actually trying to help me, figures out my goals, and actually wants to do right by me so I can do right by them, and just those who just manipulate me the way scammers do. Think about it. If your business presentation, how you advertise, how you brand, all on the goes is no different from what scammers do. And what about if someone scams your grandma too? You see? It's a funny story, huh? Even in your family, you note growth and decay. Those who seek to be wise and love, in part or as an aim, and those who don't. And these all can change. Hey, remember, levers of gameplay. Not why, not how, but actually, the actual playing you do. Track this. Replay for a gift. Again, remember, levers of gameplay. Not why, not how, but actually, the actual playing you do. Track this. You play for a gift. So let's hit up the young people. I'm gonna hit up you young people for the next video right quick. I'm gonna end this right now. This will be part one.